This is Mac OS Ken.
Lots of threads tied to WWDC23. Russia makes a silly-sounding accusation, and halfway through the season, MLS goes half price. It is Friday, the 2nd of June, 2023. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by BetterHelp. Online therapy. Visit betterhelp.com/macOSKen today to get 10% off your first month. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. You know those several new Macs Bloomberg's Mark Gurman thinks Apple could introduce next week at WWDC? Apple may be putting them through their paces right now. A piece from my download blog has Gurman indicating that Apple is testing two high-end Mac computers with the M2 Max and M2 Ultra chips, likely the next generation Mac Studio that could be unveiled at WWDC. According to the report, the machines have the Mac 14,13 and Mac 14,14 identifiers not used before, suggesting a major refresh. Apple does offer M2 Max systems, such as the 16-inch MacBook Pro, but has yet to release a computer with an M2 Ultra processor. Maybe Monday, we will find out. Remember the fun No Man's Sky creator Sean Murray and No Man's Sky publisher Hello Games were having with each other on Twitter this week? They've let one cat out of the bag and teased another. I told you Tuesday of Murray and the company he founded tweeting Apple emoji back and forth. While it seemed obvious that they were teasing an imminent Mac release for the wildly intricate space game, they left at least a couple of mysteries hanging out there. Would they announce a No Man's Sky port for Mac at WWDC? And would they announce a VR version of the game to go along with Apple's anticipated mixed reality headset? The answer to the first one is no. As a number of sites, including Mac Rumors, noted on Thursday, No Man's Sky for the Mac is available now. According to the report, the action-adventure survival game is now available for the Mac on Steam. As for the second mystery, yeah, that one is still out there, but it might have been teased. In a short Twitter thread, Murray said, "Incredibly proud of the pace of the team on No Man's Sky right now. Our last update for No Man's Sky, Interceptor, was just a few weeks ago. Fractal was just 6 weeks ago before that. We've got a little something just about to drop, and then another surprise in the very near future. The roadmap for the coming year is busy. Lots to look forward to." The Mac Rumors piece thinks the second announcement is likely to be the release of No Man's Sky for iPad. That said, the site says the tease leans into speculation that Hello Games could be working on a game for Apple's mixed reality headset, which is widely expected to be announced at WWDC in less than a week. Wait a minute, what? Did you hear about the saddest thing to happen in Tech Thursday? The saddest thing to happen in Tech Thursday was Facebook trying to get ahead of next Monday's anticipated headset announcement from Apple with a pre-announcement for the next version of its own headset. Heading into Thursday's MetaQuest gaming showcase, the company posted on the MetaQuest blog that it had some juicy news the company just couldn't wait any longer to share. According to what was Facebook, the next generation virtual and mixed reality headset features higher resolution, stronger performance, breakthrough meta-reality technology, and a slimmer, more comfortable form factor. Quest 3 will ship in all countries where MetaQuest is currently supported this fall. The 128GB headset starts at $499.99 US. Good price. The specs sound good. Facebook seems to be building something like a functioning ecosystem for its tech. So why do I say that that was the saddest thing in tech on Thursday? Because it reeks of desperation and fear. Sounds like a company that knows that it's about to be shoved into second in a field it has seriously worked hard to foster. Or, as Daring Fireball's John Gruber put it, one difference between Apple and other companies, Apple acts like they are the only company in the markets they are in. They never rush out scared pre-announcements to get ahead of Samsung or whoever. Apple has the discipline and confidence to hold their fire until they are ready. In case you missed it, WWDC is happening soon, and Apple is looking to spread the word. With song. A piece from 9 to 5 Mac says the Cupertino company has put together a playlist for Apple Music called WWDC23 Power Up. I am really sad about how few songs on the list I know. Of the 25, I know none of them. I know some of the artists, though. Miley Cyrus, Ed Sheeran, the Jonas Brothers, Nicki Minaj, Calvin Harris. The list goes on. I will not. Bigger than the playlist was the announcement of the playlist. The Cupertino streamer hit Twitter with that in a message that started, "A new era begins." It's kind of a bold statement. Wonder if they've got something big planned. News today of some Apple job listings that almost make me reconsider a note we heard about earlier this week from Wedbush analyst Daniel Ives. Among his expectations for Monday's keynote is some serious talk on Apple's plans around artificial intelligence. Quoting that note, "We expect Apple to head down the path to have its own AI-driven solution that will be integrated within the Apple ecosystem and enable consumers to further tap into their iOS data, video, music, applications, and Apple devices through next-generation AI capabilities." We expect Cook to address Apple's AI strategy in his keynote on Monday. Now, this is a thing that we used to talk about occasionally on the Mac Observer's Daily Observations podcast in the short, happy time I got to do that show. I think Ives is right about Apple's direction. Though the timing, well, I'm not saying it's early, but it feels like a lot for Monday. And I would be happy to be wrong. I don't know what these job listings do for that timeline, but they do seem to plot a path similar to the one outlined by Ives. A piece from 9 to 5 Mac says Apple recently added a new job opening to its website, this time specifically looking for software engineers with knowledge of generative AI and mixed reality environments. It is WWDC adjacent at the very least. Also, I am doubting Ives' assertion at least a little bit less. I know you know when and where to watch, but I feel practically bound to remind you. The WWDC23 keynote is set to stream next Monday, the 5th of June at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. You can catch it on Apple's events page, apple.com/events. It'll stream live through the Apple TV app, it'll stream live on Apple's developer app, and it will stream live on YouTube. If you can't make any of those when it happens, replays will almost definitely be available all of those places. Apple should also make the event available as both audio and video podcasts soon after. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, BetterHelp. Online therapy. How much of your time is for you? Between work, family, and social commitments, it can be easy for your needs to take a back seat. But if you don't give to yourself, there's less to give to others. It is not selfish for you to take care of you. Therapy can help you find balance in your life so you can be there for others and yourself. BetterHelp simplifies the therapy process. The whole thing happens online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and if you want to switch therapists for any reason, you can. Doesn't cost anything extra. I like the online part. No going, no waiting. And yet, even though it is at a distance, for me, BetterHelp was a bit more personal than traditional therapy. I think it was the part where I could message outside of a designated session. Made it less like an hour of my week and more like an ongoing conversation. If you are thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/MacOSKen today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/MacOSKen. BetterHelp.com/MacOSKen. You want to do the second saddest tech story from Thursday? The second saddest tech story from Thursday was the one where Russia claimed Apple was helping the U.S. spy on thousands of iPhone users. Apple Insider had Russia indicating that the U.S. National Security Agency, or NSA, has been spying on Russian officials and civilians using iPhone backdoor vulnerabilities created for the U.S. by Apple. Now, spying on iPhones is a thing. On this week's checklist, number 330 by Secure Mac, we revisited the subject of Pegasus, which uses zero-click exploits to do just that. Spy on the communications of activists, journalists, and yes, government officials. But Apple is working to stop them, not Jimmy the Lock. According to Reuters, according to Apple Insider, Russia's FSB says that it has uncovered an NSA plot that utilized previously unknown malware to access these backdoors. It's not clear why malware would be needed if there were already backdoor access, but the FSB says several thousand iPhones in Russia were infected. Not surprisingly, not so, says Apple. A few hours after the initial story, 9to5Mac had a short statement from the Cupertino company. We have never worked with any government to insert a backdoor into any Apple product, and never will. Earlier this week, developers got access to the next round of OS betas from Apple. Now, it is the public testers' turn. Mac Rumors ran a couple of pieces Thursday, one saying that the second public betas of iOS and iPadOS 16.6 were out to the public testing peeps, and another saying the same for the second public beta of macOS Ventura 13.5. If you're in the public testing program, you know what to do. If you're not, you can be. It's easy. Start the journey into the unknown at beta.apple.com. And finally today, I don't think they're targeting me personally, but Apple is making it really difficult for me to not sign up for MLS Season Pass. I can't believe this, but it seems we are already nearing the halfway point for the season. With roughly half the games gone, a piece from 9to5Mac says Apple is lopping off half the price. According to the report, the 2023 Pass subscription is now available for $49, down from $99, with an additional $10 discount for Apple TV Plus subscribers. The monthly subscription price is unchanged. If you're tempted, it's worth noting that the half price is only for the half season. 9 to 5 Mac reminds readers that the subscription will renew unless cancelled at the standard full season price when the 2024 season commences next year. I am so tempted. Also, I don't know who I am. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/macOSKen today to get 10% off your first month. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.